Hello everybody, Brian here from quantlabs.net. In this video I'm going to show you how I use risk on, risk off for the overall cryptocurrency market or asset class using 5 large coins, as well as to measure if it is worthwhile to start trading once you hit this certain rate, which means it's fairly positive and high, very high level of positive momentum. So the coins we're talking about are Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, and oddly, a drop is Ethereum Classic. These are in the early day when this was written. Those are the big 5. I don't use XRP, it's just too volatile, it doesn't perform that well. EOS is questionable, anything else is basically questionable. So using those big coins, what I do is I have some things that we do. So I'll measure, this is my system. You can learn this sort of stuff by taking the Python course single-handedly or doing the Python course within the Elite service, since you have access for that. So here's the table we're talking about using in Redis, the database. So this is updated every hour. The only thing that seems to be positive right now is Bitcoin. These are hourly moves that you're looking at, 0.21, Bitcoin Cash down 0.68, Ethereum down negative 0.14, Litecoin down 1.28, and then Ethereum Classic at 0.29. I also generated a file, a Word document called Crypto Risk, and this is what it contains. It contains all the other things, but in there I also include the rate of change each hour. I can't remember how many elements I put in here, but it's just basically from an array that's downloaded from the exchange of Kraken. So as I said here, you have Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash. People find this useful, Litecoin, Ethereum as well. So you can see they're all against USD as a fiat currency, US dollar. And then I put a little risk on here. So we have aggressive, so if it's more than 10%, any of them, which I've seen it's quite common when the markets are driven up quite quickly. Medium between, oh sorry, that's not right. Aggressive is over 1%. Medium is between half to 1%. Anemic, which is 0 to 0.5%, and then negative, obviously less than 0. So as you can see here, the 4 of the 5 are negative. So one's kind of positive in an anemic way. So that I've used a volume-weighted average price, and then I'm able to generate another file. Now this is these are all systematically generated here, called a risk on log. And what this does, it will measure every couple of minutes the level of what that volume-weighted average would be among those 5 coins. And then you can see here, if it's -1, chances are, from my experience, you don't want to trade because you can't short in most exchanges. You can only long, so Kraken is no different. And as a result, you don't want to trade in those environments. You really only want to trade when the markets are positive. But the problem is figuring out what is that number that you can say, yes, I can trade without seeing negative whipsaws that will take out your positions, even though you think you should be able to use the positive momentum in your favor to get profitable trades. So that's where you need to ensure that your particular coin that you're trading or pair you're trading is a momentum time series versus a mean reverting time series. Most of the time it will be mean reverting. But once you figure that out, with all of these big 5s, you can safe to say out of the 4 out of the 5 will be moving in relation with Bitcoin, and as a result, you should have a much higher probability of getting open positions to be profitable. The question is, what is that magic number on this volume weighted average to say, yes, I can get a higher probability of profitable positions. That number I set right now at 3. It can be 2 sometimes as well. But right now it's 3. It's very rare that you will see that, maybe once a week. There's no pattern to it on when that happens, but that's usually when the time to trade crypto using momentum-based to get profitable trades, because when you even get momentum-based trading with a high volume-weighted risk-on environment, you can still get whipsaws, and usually from what I see, you get about 40 to 50% profitable positions. So that's the dilemma we face in the world of crypto, and of course this changes because of the crazy volatility you get with crypto. So that's pretty well it. Also, just wanted to mention about the bid and ask. Particular pairs. This is your bid of, I don't know what coin this is, but it doesn't really matter. But sometimes you get coins that have higher bids than asks, and you basically, when you want a long when your number of asks is much higher than the bids, because that's what will drive up the price, and that's pretty well the only indicator you need from a low level depth of market set of indicators, because all the other indicators are driven by the bid and ask, or long versus short percentages found in OAND or any forex broker if they give you that information. So that's pretty well how I figure out when the right time to go and trade in the crypto space is, using this, as I said, volume weighted average, which is determined from these big 5 coins that I've mentioned. Hopefully this will help you out. Talk to you later.